Hello, welcome to Grow Your Own with Pace. That's practical actions for climate and the environment. I'm Papa John, that's what my grandchildren call me. And these are going to be some tips from Papa John about growing brassicas. Yeah, remember these are tips, they're not rules. Lots of different people grow their vegetables in different ways, and these are just some ways that I've found useful, so I hope you find them useful too. So brassicas, the cabbage family, it's a very important group of crops. Includes the cabbages obviously, but they could be red cabbage or Savoy cabbages or white cabbages, cauliflowers, what else, Brussels sprouts, kale, different types of broccoli, calabres, but some more things that you don't often think of as being perhaps brassicas would be swedes and turnips, even radishes. So we're going to plant three types of brassicas today. I've just started on some cabbages here. These are the kiloton cabbage. That's an F1 variety of cabbage. So they've bred two strains, crossed two strains, and that gives them more strength. They've been very successful over the years for me, this particular cabbage. These are purple sprouting broccoli in here, so that's the winter broccoli. Whereas these ones at the back here, these are grown by Sarah actually. So she's given me these are calabres, or you'll see that as broccoli in the shops, but really it's calabres. So all the seeds of the brassicas are very similar. These are purple sprouting broccoli seeds here, but they all look very similar, little round balls like that. And most of the time I'll put two or three in a pot. Yes, normally I'd sow them into a pot rather than straight into the ground, particularly because brassicas are prone to flea beetle damage and they can completely kill the plants. So if you grow them inside or even just in pots outside, they tend to do much better. So I recommend that. So at first I'll just level the ground up, make sure it's reasonably level. So now I'm going to firm the ground. All the brassicas like very firm ground, so I'll use this board and make sure the ground is very firm for them. So I'm going to put two rows in. You see I've started there. I've put a marker here roughly where my next cabbage is going to be, about a foot apart, something like that. Tap him out of the pot. And he goes. And really firm them in. All these brassicas like firm ground. I'm not squeezing the plant, I'm just squeezing the soil against the roots there. There's two in this pot here, look. I can probably manage to get both of them with a bit of luck. We'll see. Should be able to split those two apart. There we go. Right, so now we're going to put some purple sprouting broccoli in. Again, I should be able to get two from each of the pots, hopefully, if I split them carefully. And again, they want to be very firm in the ground. Don't be frightened to firm them in, because that's what they really like. Don't squash the stem of the plant, but push the soil against that root ball very firmly. Okay, so this time I've got many more in the pot than I need, and so I've got to remove several of them, get it down to two. So what a hard lesson this is actually. Got some lovely plants there, but there's too many. We have to get it down to the number that's going to work. If you try and plant too many, then you won't get a good crop. Now I can split it into two. You notice they're much further apart this time. These broccoli, winter broccoli, the purple sprouting ones will need 2.5–3 feet between plants. Much further apart than the cabbages. Okay, well there's all our purple sprouting broccolis in, and these are all our little thinnings. We'll eat those as microgreens tonight with our tea. Very expensive topping you get in a restaurant, looks like that. So now for the calabrese, the summer broccoli. These are going to grow very quickly, whereas the purple sprouting broccoli are going to be in here all the year, right through to February next year. But these will grow in a couple of months. So I'm going to put a calabrese in between each of the purple sprouting broccoli. Make use of that. I get a little catch crop then, you see. They look a lot bigger than the purple sprouting broccoli. They're just going to grow much faster, produce their heads, we'll harvest them, and then leave the space for the purple sprouting broccoli to grow on. Okay, so now we'll water all of those in. So I'll just finish watering in the broccoli. Purple sprouting are the small ones, and the larger ones are the calabrese. So really here I'm majoring for the winter crop. These little purple sprouting broccolis are going to grow into great tall bushes, and I'm going to get a catch crop from that calabrese. The cabbages are also a winter crop. I'm going for winter cabbages, and I don't tend to grow many of the summer brassicas because we've got so much else around in the summer, you know, beans and peas, onions and potatoes. All these other things are producing in the summer months, but it's those winter months that are sometimes the difficult ones to get crops. So that's why the brassicas are so useful. It's because many of them are very frost hardy. They'll go right through into the winter. So there's some of our brassicas in. However, brassicas are very susceptible to pests. We talked about the flea beetle earlier on, so we need to try and avoid that. But the other two key pests are pigeons. If I leave those brassicas like that, then in the morning they'll be gone. The pigeons will eat them. And the other one is the cabbage white butterfly, or the caterpillars of the cabbage white butterfly. So one way or another we've got to protect the brassicas against that. So that's the big downside of brassicas. Yes, they're very versatile crops and very important crops, but they are susceptible to several pests. So this cage here has got a butterfly net on. So I'll roll that down. So that's strong enough to keep the pigeons out. I'll peg it down along the bottom there, and it's fine enough to stop the cabbage white butterflies from going in and laying their eggs on the brassicas there, which they'll do. They find them, they'll lay their eggs, and you'll have hundreds of caterpillars to pick off. It doesn't have to be a big cage like this actually. You can make a small cage over the top of them, but sufficient that the brassicas, the plants, the cabbage plants don't actually touch the edge of your cage. Okay, I hope those are some good tips for your brassicas.